In a way, I had already started to socially isolate prior to lockdown. I'd taken 3 weeks leave from work as my first grandchild was due at the beginning of March last year, and I'd hardly left the house as I wanted to be available whenever and wherever I was needed by my daughter and son-in-law. In the end, my granddaughter was born nearly 2 weeks late on 17th of March, 6 days before full lockdown. But there were already restrictions in place, which meant I was unable to go anywhere near her. As essential trips for caring purposes were allowed, I drove over to their house the day after she was born, with the lasagna I had kept in the freezer so that the new family had something to eat, and with the reusable nappies that my son and I had painstakingly sewn new elastic into. It was dark and raining, and I couldn't find anywhere to park nearby. I phoned them to say I'd arrived, put the deliveries on the front doorstep, and retreated to the middle of the road. My daughter and tiny new granddaughter came to the door for a moment, then had to go inside again as it was so cold and wet. I could see them through the window and through my tears. It was heartbreaking, so different from what I'd expected, of being able to hold my granddaughter for the first time and prepare for all the help and support the new parents would need. In the end, it was 3 months before I was able to hold my granddaughter for the first time. We were gradually able to have socially distanced walks together, and I remember the beautiful sunny day when I was able to lie on the grass next to her, close enough for us to make eye contact. Then a few weeks later when I finally held her in my arms. Those 3 months were so hard for us all, perhaps a minor sacrifice compared with what so many other people were going through, but a profound deprivation when I had prepared so long for my role as grandmother, supporting my daughter and her husband, and getting to know their beautiful new child. They managed magnificently on their own, but it was even harder for them, isolated from all the usual channels of support in the first few months of their child's life. In other ways, the first few months of lockdown had unexpected benefits. I was able to work from home, something I had been trying to arrange with my employer for a while. My son and I baked our own bread. He subsequently went back to college to do a baking course, which he has just completed. We shared many moments of hilarity and introduced each other to television and online events. We watched several NT live productions together, and Taskmaster is now a family favourite. We took long walks in our local area, which we had previously hardly explored. And best of all, our elderly cat absolutely loved having us at home all the time, and we loved his company too. We knew he had health problems, which meant he became a very fussy eater, and we were able to indulge all his whims. As my son and I kept very different hours, the cat had virtually 24-hour care, and we were happy to provide it. While the childcare problems eventually resolved, the separation made us all realise how much we all needed to be together. My daughter and son-in-law had started house hunting, and what had previously been a joke about a granny flat for me became a reality. And last November, we all moved into a large house together, which was a huge boon for us all when the second lockdown hit in December. I retired in March and now regularly look after my granddaughter while her parents are working, and can cuddle her as much as I like, as long as she allows. It wasn't such good news for our darling old cat, who died the same day as the for sale signs went up outside our old home, but it meant he had a wonderful last 6 months of life. We've been very lucky compared with so many others who have struggled with illness, death, and working in the most challenging of situations. Like so many others, I stood in my doorway last summer and clapped for the NHS, and I hope that one of the legacies of this terrible time is that we all appreciate and properly reward all the essential workers who have kept us going throughout.